So this is what the scene will be after we're done. Basically, we just set up several containers in which we can change the speed and the direction of the rotation of these rings. So I'm just going to hide these inner two. And if we just look at this last ring here, what we did is we wrote a script that will allow us to speed up and slow down the rotation of the ring. Not only will it speed it up and slow it down, but we can choose which direction that we want it to rotate, clockwise or counterclockwise. So as I come in here into our little box here, we can go down to -10 to speed it up and have it rotate clockwise, or if we go towards 0, we can actually stop it. If we progress towards the positive number of 10, then we can spin this quickly on a counterclockwise motion. And we can set this up for each individual ring, and our script here controls this speed and the rotation. In this video, we're going to focus on a script that actually lets you create a push button event so that you can quickly and easily manipulate this script that you have written. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go into the built-ins and we're going to grab a primitive here. I'm going to use a ring. Since I'm using the ring, I'm just going to cut this angle in half a little bit so that we can see a little bit of opening, and when it rotates, we'll be able to tell a little bit more. I'm also just going to throw a material on it. We'll see it a little bit better. And now I'm going to go back into my CP, my global folder, and throw the script function onto my ring here. Okay, so since we only have one container here and the script is on that one, I'm not really declaring anything. I'm just going to go ahead right into my events and start creating an event. And I want this event to execute per field. So I'm going to use the sub on exec per field. I'm going to work with the rotation. So again, this script is on this particular container. So we call this and we say rotation. This rotation.z equals this.rotation.z. And remember, if we needed to loop it, we could quickly type in a number there, compile and run it, and that would loop it. But we're going to take it a step further this time. So let me just reset this back to what it was. We'll go back into the script. Instead of typing in a number, I actually want to tell it to get some type of parameter. So I'm going to type here, get parameter double. And I need to tell which parameter I want, which is speed. So we're going to name that speed. Okay, so we're done with that sub. Now we're going to move on to the next sub. And what we actually want to do is register this so that we have a little control option. If I just compile this right here, what we want it to show up is a little bit of control to control the speed of the rotation here. So we're going to go back into our script and do that right now. So what we're going to do is create another event here. And since we get parameter double up here, I'm going to use this sub on init parameters. So I'm going to use this one and say we're going to register parameter double. And again, we just need to tell it the name here. So speed, and I'm going to type speed twice. And I'm just going to give it some numbers here to work with. So we'll use 1, -10, comma, and 10, and try that out. So we'll compile and run here, and then you can see that it starts the animation. Now we have this speed control here. So if I go into the negative, it will reverse it. If I go into the positive, it will increase it. Here you say our speed was 10, and we can go to -10. So if you want to edit those two things, here's our minimum value, here's our maximum value, here's the default value. You can change them if you want. We'll compile and run again. Now, if you need to copy these things, what we can do is actually just copy these. So if you want to kind of scale each one up or scale one of them down or come into the ring itself to adjust some parameters, we can. So we'll maybe slow this one down, have it go the opposite way. And again, if you want to make this some changes, we could increase or decrease the inner and outer radiuses. And again, you have your parameter here that you can increase it or slow it down.